to work on. You trying to work on your mental. I'm going to work on that mentality. I'm going to tear it all up. Have them paranoid. Right? Scared to trust another believer. Right. Think every believer out for them. Right? That's what hypocrites do.
That's right.
They how you feel. Mess with your spiritual.
That's right.
You actually pray 5 times a day every day?
Right.
Look, bro, sometimes I don't pray 5 times a day. Sometimes I just go 3. They do that. This is what hypocrites do. Sometimes I just do 3, but I'm fine. Right? They might not be praying at all. I didn't do 3. I'm fine, right? But they want to get you off of the regimen of doing the 5 prayers a day. So you have to fight through all of that. You have to be strong mentally, strong spiritually. So when they come to you with that, they try to tear your spiritual mind up.
That's right.
Right? And the spiritual controls the mental and the physical. So if I tear your spiritual up, mentally you're going to be distraught. Physically it's going to start showing. Right? Because it's all covered in the spiritual. The way your spiritual is will determine how you think mentally. And the way you mentally think will determine how it comes out physically. So you have to fight against all these things for Islam. And then you have to, on top of fighting for that, to keep your sanity, with all the people trying to tear your sanity apart, then you had a regular everyday life of paying bills, working your job, of regular stuff. And still, you have to find the time to now fight to uplift Islam. Everybody against Islam. There's no secret, there's no secret that everybody against Islam. It's a reason why you had Christianity, right? Yes, sir. That was it. Then when Islam started growing under the messenger, then all of a sudden you had other forms of Islam pop up. You had Hebrew pop up. You had this one pop up. You had all these different religions pop up. The Maya, the this and the that. Popped up. Why every time that Islam started growing under the messenger, something new pops up?
Good question.
So why is that?
Good question.
That's because they're fighting against Islam. So now you have to fight harder. Every time something new pop up, you got to fight harder. Right. Now all these things are together. And the one thing they agree on, they don't like Islam.
That's right.
Especially by Elijah Muhammad. Especially y'all the nation. Man, at least y'all should do like they do in the East. This is the argument. So everybody is telling us we have to do like that, right? They all fighting against us. Right. They all try to pull us away from the very thing that uplift us. Right. The very thing that got us our sanity. Right. The very thing that got us off drugs and alcohol. The very thing that got us out of prostitution houses. The very thing that got us out of the gambling houses. The very thing that closed down the brothels when it came to black people and the gentlemen's clubs and all these things. The very things that got rid of all these things. Right? Praise you for Allah. That's the thing they want us to leave. Right? And they all fighting and pushing us to the East. And the crazy part is, you tell us to be like in the East, they don't like the white man either.
Right.
America Shaitan. Right. And they say we not America.
Right.
Right? They be over there, Sunni Muslims praying upright. We have to look like go to the East. They don't really want us to do that. We have to be like them. We'll start killing devils if we like them. Right. Talk about us. Who you think they bombing? Right. It's white people in Mecca.
That's right.
That's who they bombing.
That's right.
You got to talk to people bombing the white people, right? That's who they bombing.
Yes, sir.
They over in Palestine fighting white people.
That's right.
Oh, they bombing them in Palestine. Yeah, they bombing white people. I don't care what religion they claim. They white people, right? They white. They just got a different religion. They own white people. Their own brothers don't like them either because of their religion. Right. But that's still just white people, right? Yeah, so you have the black, brown, red, yellow man fighting you. We be out here bombing people, right? We not going to do that, right? They better be lucky that we are how we are. Because we just being righteous people. Right. We just move in a righteous manner. If you don't bother us, we don't bother you. Right? I'm not going to punch you in the face, Mr. White Man. Right. Just don't attack me. Right? And I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone. Let me build my nation. You have yours already and we help build yours. Right. Now let us build ours. Right. If you get in our way, that's the only way there's a problem. Is that right?
That's right.
We're not looking for fights.
No, sir.
But we're not cowards either.
That's right.
So we not running, we fight in self-defense.
Yes, sir.
That's the only way a Muslim's supposed to fight. But I know if somebody was in my house, pushing my stuff around, smacking my family around, I'll probably be fighting too. I'll probably be killing people too. You come to my house trying to hold my family hostage, somebody dying. If I'm alive, somebody's dying. Right? So that's probably what's going on over there. That's their house. That white man's over there in their house, messing with their house. Them white people been over there in Palestine, praise be to Allah, for over 60 years, Bob, in their house. Telling them, look, we taking this part of your house.
Right.
Oh, well, how would you like it if somebody came to your house and say, look, the dining room and kitchen is mine. You bet not come in here. Not only the dining room kitchen is mine, I got used to the bathroom. And you better not say nothing about it. And when I'm in the bathroom, you better hold it. Don't come knocking on this door. Right? Now you say, I'm going to go try to get some food. You not in this kitchen. Because this is now my kitchen. And they rename your house. Your house might be, what, the Muhammad house, right? They say, well, that's the Muhammad house. This kitchen and this dining room is now Alibaba III's house. And you can't do nothing about it. Are you going to let them take over your kitchen and your dining room? And since the basement is right here and how we get into we get from in and out of there, that's ours too. Then we can get in and out of there straight from the dining room. What are you going to do? It's not our fight we stand out of.
That's right.
Right? I'm not jumping on their side or against them. It's not our fight. That's their fight. But it's their fight, and we have to understand what they're doing. They're fighting, right? We have our own fight. We're fighting for our own stuff.
Yes, sir.
We want freedom,
Yes,
right?
sir.
We're fighting for that. We only can get that through Islam.
That's right.
We want justice, a
That's
full,
right.
complete, equal justice, right?
Yes, sir.
Right here, because
Yes,
we're
sir.
here. We want it, and we only gonna get that under Islam. We want equality, right? We want to be dealt with equal in all things, and we can only get that in Islam. That's why we're fighting for Islam. We're fighting for Islam so we can get freedom, justice, and equality in the land that never gave us. We only get that. We only been fighting for that since we had Islam. And if you give up on Messenger Elijah Muhammad, I would say you will have to be foolish because he's the only one that put his life in the line for us. Right?
That's right.
Praise be to Allah. When we wouldn't fight for ourselves, he fought for us. Right? When we were scared to open up our mouth because we might get killed, he put his life on the line for us. Right? He ran for 7.5 years with people trying to kill him to build and establish this. Why? Because he know we're important. Now, if you don't understand you're important after that, it's nothing I can tell you. A man gonna take 7.5 years of his life on the run. Right? He on the run. Right? Peanut Hall. Not the peanut. He said don't even eat peanut, not the peanut, the shell. The shell. Right? While they trying to kill him. Everywhere he went, chasing him all over the country for 7.5 years. And he said, I'm not going to quit. Right? I'm not going to give up. Why? Because my people are the greatest people in the world. Right here in the wilderness of North America. I got the most beautiful nation ever in the world. Right here. And I'm willing to die for it if that's the case. Right? So we won't even stand up and live for it. This is something worth fighting for.
Yes, sir.
So you have to fight. But we need each other. You can't run out here fighting on your own. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes you can't do the things you used to do. So you might have to fall back and let somebody else do it. It's hard to do. There's plenty of things I can't do I used to do. Right? Praise be to Allah. I don't try to do them anymore. Somebody else come and say I can do that good because I'm not good. I'm not good for that anymore. Right? I'm glad you did, because if I had to, I would. Right? I would. I'll be in pain when I go home, but I would do it. Right? But good that you're here to do it. I can concentrate on something else that I'm good at. Right? That I still had the ability to do. This, we have to get to that point. Right? This is unity. And we have to get to the point where we come more. They're not weak, because I guarantee if you leave them alone, they'll do it.
That's right.
If you won't do it, they will.
That's right.
And then if they not had the ability to do it and they hurt themselves doing it, it's your fault.
That's right.
Because you had the ability to do it and you wouldn't do it, you refused to do it, it's your fault. Right?
That's right.
You sitting there with the ability to do it, I ain't doing that. Right? Where your fighting spirit at?
Right.
Maybe because you're not in FOI class or MGT class, that's why you don't have that fighting spirit.
Right.
If you were there, you had that fighting spirit.
Right.
You willing to do anything.
Right. Right.
Stuff you can't do, you know you can't do, I can do it. Because I'm God, because you have that spirit, right? Spiritual, you equipped. So you say, man, I can do anything, right? And you will do it.
That's right.
No matter how much it takes, what happens is you can still do it. It just takes you longer to do it because you have to be more careful than you're doing it, right? So why should they have to take longer to do it and have to be more careful to do it when you can actually do it and run through it like they used to run through it? Right? Do you not love Islam? Huh? Do you not love it? Because if you love it and you say your prayer, your sacrifice, your life, and your death are all for Allah, what that means is, according to the messenger, is that your prayer, your sacrifice, your life, and your death is for the believer. Not for Master Prophet Muhammad. The messenger said, Master Prophet Muhammad don't need you to die for him.
Right, he's independent. Teach, bro.
He don't need you to do that. When you say that, you talk about the believer. That's what the messenger teaches. Right? You are not talking about your prayer, your sacrifice, your life, and your death for us. That's what you're saying. But then you won't pray for us?
Right.
Are you going to pray for us?
Good question.
Are you going to sacrifice for us?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to put your life for us?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to possibly put your death for us?
Good question.
When you saying that, because that's what you saying you're going to do.
Right.
He said all the righteous are little Allahs. If that's the Allah your prayer, your sacrifice, your life, and your death is for.
Teach, bro, man.
What do Allah, the supreme God, need you praying for him for? Put your life on the line for him. Nobody can't kill him.
Teach, bro.
He has to control the weather. He bring the elements against you.
Teach.
How you gonna kill him? He don't have to be around. He step off. Oh, rain, no, hell, sleet, earthquake. Get him.
Right.
And walk right, step off, right? Put it in motion, right?
Put it in motion.
He put it in motion. So what do you need us doing that for? He don't need us putting our life on the line for him. Right? We didn't do that for each other.
Each other.
That's fighting for Islam.
Yes, it is.
Islam is our nature. So every time you fight for Islam, you fight for us. You fight for your own very nature.
Yes,
you fighting to live and be yourself.
Yes.
When you fighting for Islam to live, for over 44 years, the messenger taught us and showed us we had no reason to fear.
Right.
Everything they put against us failed.
Right.
Yes, it did.
Now here we go like 30-something years later. Everything they put against us still failing.
That's right.
You know yourself.
Yes, sir.
Experiencing yourself.
Yes, sir.
People tried to personally get you.
Yes, they
You
did.
walked out of it.
Yes, they did.
Oh, they put fire all around you. You walked right through the fire.
Yes, they did.
Unsinged. Now when I say fire, I mean hard times.
Yes, sir.
They try to put the hard times on you, walk
Yes,
right
sir.
through. Unsinged. No punishment. Right? They want to tear the building down. You build it right back up. Everything they try to do for
Yes,
against
sir.
us.
Yes.
What do you fear? There's no reason to do any of that. They turned the whole nation over to Orthodox Islam. 2 brothers stayed at fort.
Teach.
Just 2.
Teach.
That was all. Minister Hamza, right?
Right.
And Minister Avery X.
Yes, sir.
They stayed at fort.
Right. Stay here for.
They wanted to kill Minister Hamza. He went to Mexico. He's never dropped a messenger program.
Right.
When he found out it was safe, he came back. He had over 500 people in his temple,
That's
right?
right. Praise
He
you,
fought for it,
Lord.
right?
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Minister Avery X stayed.
Yes, sir.
Because when they told him to throw their books away, I throw my books away, throw your lesson in the trash, throw my lesson in the trash. When they came to him and said, you take this money or I'm going to kill you, they said, well, you have to kill me because I ain't taking nothing, right? They stayed and they fought,
That's
right? Mr. Avery X stayed in the States and he fought. He
Yes,
ran
he did.
around. He
Yes,
did what he
he
had
did.
to do. When other people try to attack the nation, he called on for other believers. Y'all believe, right? They try to attack the nation.
Yes, he
Are we
did.
going to let these poop butts do that? We not going to do that, right? And then he had help. Why? Because he had people that were still fighting,
That's
right?
right.
Other people left that Orthodox Islam and said, or left the world and said, you know what? We fighting for the nation.
Right.
We messed up, but we back, right? And we
We back.
fought for it, right?
That's right.
People try to throw everything at them. At the saying go, they hit them with everything but the kitchen sink, and they walk right out of it,
Yes, they
right?
did.
That, right? And if they can do it, it's more of us than it was of them. We can do it. If you notice what I said, Minister Avery X was fighting. Minister Hamza was fighting. Minister Hamza went to Mexico. Mr. Avery X stayed in the States, right? That means they wasn't even together. It was one individual fighting by himself. And there was another individual fighting by himself. So now it's more of us than that we are stronger. Not that they're weak, but we are stronger because it's more of us.
Yes,
and if we work in unity,
Yes,
we're stronger than that.
Yes,
so if they can overcome and they can live and see us, yeah, they seen us.
Yes, sir. Yes, they did.
It's a product of what their fighting done.
Teach them
Because of their fighting, people like Minister Jamar was able to step back up, right? People like Minister Levi was able to step back up, right? They was able to step back up because of their fighting, right? They made sure that it stayed in the ears of the people, right? So it stayed in the ears of the people, so we was able to be born. Right now that we here, are we going now let them take it from us?
Good question.
These two brothers with a gun with a pistol in their face didn't back down. You don't have no pistol in your face. There's no need for you to back down. With a little word's gonna scare you. Fight for the cause of Islam. It's gonna be beneficial for you.
That's right.
Sometimes you gotta go back to the history,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So you can understand
Yes, sir.
where you can go in the future, right? You can make sure that only the good history repeats itself, right? So fight. It's worth fighting for.
Yes, sir.
They thought it was worth fighting for with a gun to their face. He had a gun to their face. I'm gonna run, but I ain't gonna quit. He said, a messenger ran for his life, and he kept pushing Islam. I'll run for my life and keep pushing Islam, right? So
That's right.
we at a point that we're not even there yet.
Right. Listen.
So what are we scared of?
Listen.
If you scared. I'm not even saying you scared, but if you are, this question is for you.
That's right.
Right? We have something here worth fighting for.
Yes, we do.
This here, some people came into this temple with hypocrites attacking them.
Yes, sir.
Not mentally, not spiritually, physically attacking them. Right? If they can fight through that, you can fight through this little stuff going on now.
Right.
This is minor.
Right.
People in there, every time they walk through the temple, somebody might sucker punch me. Oh, this ain't no joke. This is real. Every time I walk through, somebody might sucker punch me. I might get jumped.
Listen.
Anything can happen. Right?
Right.
People in this very temple been jumped by people.
That's right.
In the streets. For believing.
T.
Right.
Oh, you gonna believe that? You ain't gonna get with my man?
T.
We got you. Catch him, right? Jump him. They
Yes,
fought.
They fought.
Right? Came up out of it.
That's right.
Walked away from it.
Right.
Came back to the temple.
That's right.
Right? And kept on believing, right?
That's
If they can do that, it's easy for you.
What can we do? That's right. You can teach it, brother. You can teach it.
And this ain't no long history. This is history I know myself because I was seeing it.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right? I know it happened. No fear. I bet not see him again. Right? This is how it is. When you stand up and fight, people will stand up with you and fight.
Right.
You know who has the heart when you stand up and fight. If you got the heart, you'll find out who has the heart.
Right.
Right? Somebody gonna come ask you, what's going on?
Right.
I ain't taking it.
Right.
They trying to do something.
Right.
And I ain't backing down. Or they say, oh, well, I got your back.
Right.
Right? But if you backing down, oh, everything's all right. They gonna walk away because everything's all right.
Right.
Right? Now you by yourself again.
Right.
Right? They walk up on you.
Teach, bro, minister. Teach.
They want to know because I can't help you if you don't have the heart because I don't really know anything going on. It looks suspicious,
Right.
but I only know it's suspicious if you tell me it's suspicious.
Right,
right.
So when I walk up and ask you, is everything all right? And it's not all right. You have to have the heart to say it's not all right.
Right.
Because it's not all right, and you don't have the ability to handle it. Somebody will.
Right.
Teach, bro, man.
Praise you to Allah. And most likely, it's the person that asked you, was it all right?
That's right.
That's why they came. Oh, they need you. That's why they came. Praise you to Allah. When somebody walk up to you and ask you, do you need help? And you say, no, I got it.
Right.
They will lead you to it. And you say you can't get no help. Well, your help came in the form of the person who asked you. That was the person that was going to help you. That's why they asked. People not just approaching you, to ask you that type of stuff because it's a possibility want to help you, and I'm not going to approach you. They're not going to approach you because they don't really want to help you.
Right.
Right? That's why I be the old vague. So how's that be going on? Oh, well, you know, oh, good, I got to go. Right? Why? Because they don't really want to know. But they sit and wait for your answer. And then they ask you again, you sure you don't need any help?
Right.
They they offering you help. But nobody wants to come in and start snatching something from somebody they feel like you tell them they can't do it.
Right.
So that's why they ask me.
Right. Good teacher.
You have to turn around and say, many hands, you have to think to yourself, many hands make light work. You know what? Grab that side.
Right.
And I'll get this side.
Right.
And we gonna have it, right?
That's right.
And when that happens, you know what happens? Somebody else is gonna be looking like feeling guilty, like, man, I could have been went over there and helped that brother. You know what?
Right.
Come on, bro, let's go help.
Right.
Now you got 4 people on it.
Right.
Now it's like you ain't even picking it up. You got it up, you walking up, you run.
Right.
And with it, right? Because it's so much easier.
Teach, brother minister.
If they don't want to help, forget them.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
on them. Because the nation will build and be built and move on whether you help or not. You don't hurt us by not helping. You hurt yourself by not helping. We've been building for almost 30 years this particular temple. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All the believers are not even here today.
Right.
Right? But we only started out with 5.
Teach, brother minister.
Right? When this temple went independent, really independent, and said on its own, and the hypocrites got pushed out, we started out with 5. It's much more than 5 in here right now. And it's not even all the believers. So whether you help or not help, the nation is going to build, right?
That's right. That's right.
It's just like the messenger said, he who's caught lagging will be left behind. So when you don't help, you just lagging. You gonna be way behind, and you wonder why? Why I'm eating last? Well, how come they didn't invite me in the picture? And well, how come everybody plays so much bigger than mine? So how come they talking about they doing something after and nobody asked me? Because you didn't involve yourself. We didn't think you wanted to be involved, right?
That's right.
All this fighting going on, you acting like a corner man. We need you in the ring.
Right.
This is a rumble.
Teach, brother minister.
This is not a one-on-one boxing match. This is an all-out brawl. We need you in the ring brawling
That's
with the
right.
rest of us.
That's right.
Right? Not in the corner. Need some water? No, we don't need any of that. As the messenger said on one lecture when the brother asked me he wanted to sit down because he wasn't feeling too well, he said, "No, brother, I'm going to stand. And if you keep asking me to sit down, I'm going to get a sister up here because they want me to stand up here and teach."
Right.
So actually what the messenger was saying, brother, we have sisters more qualified than you telling me to sit down. Right? So if you don't want to get in the ring and brawl, we have sisters that are more qualified than you. Right? They want to see us fight. They want to see us get them off of the nation's back, right? So if you not going to help, or you going to sit there talking about white and brown sisters can do that, brother, get out the way.
Right.
They want to get out the way. They want us to fight.
Right.
They've been so too long looking at the let him fight, right?
That's right.
So just get out the way.
That's right. Beautiful teaching.
That's us.
It's no longer we're not going to be sitting there begging people to do stuff for us,
That's right.
right? We begging for them.
Yes, sir.
We qualified. We have proved ourselves qualified, right?
Yes, sir.
We are approved in the eyes of all civilized nations that, those people over there that follow Elijah Muhammad, man, they qualified. For what? For any and everything. Right?
That's right.
Remember we used to go over there and just walk on them? When they said street was paved with gold, that was nigga gold.
Right.
Then we just walk right up, not from the father of Elijah Muhammad. We're not doing that. And if we get too cocky with it, we won't be able to do it with none of them Negroes.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's what they know. This is all over the world.
Yes, sir.
That's why they coming here. Part of these, they come in, they just come here to eat everything else. They come here to marvel over us.
That's right.
People come in here looking like, so you the black man they was talking about? You the black woman they was talking about? I thought you was a myth.
Right.
I didn't know that you was real. Wow. What can we do for you? That's how they coming over here now.
Listen.
We just not telling them. They asking. So many different ways. Muslims don't agree. Orthodox Muslims don't agree. Man, all those foreign Orthodox Muslims look at you. They see a message to a black man. They see those white. They see a bow tie. They greet you.
Teach.
That's right.
They be from all these trades. They be from all these countries that they say hate us. And they don't respect us. It's not that they hate us. They don't respect us because we wasn't a respectable people.
Right.
But the Nation of Islam has respectable people.
Yes.
So they respect us personally. And we can have them respect all black people here.
Right. Yes, we can.
Right? So what they do is they come and they see us, they're like, oh, that's them. Let's take our books and read now and try to learn something, right? Say now, are you Muslim? Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
That's what they said.
They stand up right.
Right.
Oh, good. They start whispering to each other. That's them.
That's what they
That's what
said.
they do.
They with the old man.
That's what they said.
They followed the Elijah.
That's what they said.
Right? That's them. They do that because they know there's a history for us.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We have proved ourselves throughout the time of the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir.
Right? Up to today of our qualifications. And people are trying to use our qualifications and tag them on themselves when they haven't done the work that we have done.
Right.
I'm not doing his own thing. I'm talking about continuously the messenger.
Right.
Right? So those who have left the messenger say, look, I'm back with the messenger, or really not back with the messenger, will take our qualifications,
See.
of the Nation of Islam since 1930. That's what they'll do.
Right.
Because we never stopped. They said nation fell, but it wasn't completely destroyed. You had Minister Avery X.
Yes, sir.
You had Minister Hamza.
Right.
That means the nation was still there.
Right.
It just was what they call a microorganism.
Right.
That's all it was.
Right.
You got them two brothers, they stand up for the messenger, the nation's still standing.
Still standing.
It just got weak.
Right.
Yeah, it fell, but it still was there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
If you knock this building was knocked down, but it still was a floor.
That's right.
So the building was still there.
Right.
It just wasn't as big. It just wasn't what it was
Right.
at one point. So we have to understand the nation didn't completely get wiped out because if it did, it wouldn't be no us.
That's
Right.
right.
The reason why other people could stand up because somebody never sat down.
That's
right.
right. That's right.
Right? This is what we have to understand. Us fighting for the cause of Islam is important.
Yes, sir.
Because if it's the nature in which we created,
Yes, sir.
fighting for Islam is actually fighting for ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Good teaching.
And there are people who won't fight for themselves.
Good
Right.
teaching.
Right.
They back all right up there go, come on, stop playing.
Right.
Stop. Do you want to be that? You don't want to be that, do you?
Right.
Well, they're attacking your very who you are. When people make fun of the Nation of Islam, they making fun of your actual life. So this is what they're doing. When they attack the Nation of Islam, they're attacking your actual life. So you have to fight for it or let them bully you around. That's what's happening. And you don't have to physically get out and fight every time. You may have to never do that. Well, it's coming a time, as I said, this devil's going to attack us. We ain't got no choice. It's inevitable. They're going to attack us. But until that day, you might not have to fight.
Right.
But when they attack you, you can't be like the coward in the back in the corner. Come on, stop. And then when they punch you upside your head, kicking you on the ground like, somebody get them off me. You can't be that one.
No, sir.
You got to fight. Even if you know I can't beat him. I can't fight to save my life. Throw some punches.
Right.
You be surprised. Don't tell them what happened. Scared to death. You start throwing punches, you might land a knockout.
Right.
Because Allah might be with you.
That's
That
right.
knockout, they go down. You jump up. Now you got y'all did it. Right? But you can't fight, but I won that one. And you keep on going, right? You hear what you saying, Allah. And then you know Allah had your back because you know you can't fight. Right? And then you know you better start learning how to fight. Get with somebody that know how to fight. Brother, I need to learn how to fight. I don't ever want to go through that again. Right? You might want to start doing these things. Why? Because you never know what's going to happen.
Teach, brother.
You never know. You're going to be a man standing in the corner all the time like this, and now you got a family.
Listen.
And now somebody threatening your family.
Listen.
Put your wife out there because you're going to be in the corner like this. Please don't hurt my family.
Oh my goodness.
Don't hurt them. Is that what you're going to do?
Good question.
Huh? Or you going to be like those brothers that go out there and be like, well, where they at?
Right.
You know where they stay at?
Right.
Where they around?
Right.
Oh, they'll never threaten you again. I guarantee it.
That's right.
Right? You'll be there. Look, one thing gonna have to change. This is how we have to do with Islam too. One thing gonna have to change.
Yes, sir.
That one thing is you messing with us.
Right.
That's right.
That's it. No, we're not negotiating.
That's right.
We're not sitting at the table and we're pondering a way for this to happen. It's gonna happen because you're gonna stop.
Teach.
And if you don't stop, I'ma stop. Now, the choice is yours.
That's right.
Now you keep messing with our temple, and it's gonna be a problem. You kick in the door. You want to knock out glass. You want to set stuff on fire. Oh, we gonna show you some fire.
Teach, brother.
Right? You can't be scared anymore. Allah has your back. Right? You have to be like that with your family too.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's right.
You gonna do what to who?
Right.
I tell you one thing.
Teach, brother.
What you gonna do is leave my children alone.
That's right.
You gonna leave my wife alone.
That's right.
You gonna leave everybody alone. Because if not, you gonna have to deal with me.
That's right.
Oh, don't worry about where you at. I'll find you.
Right.
I don't care if you leave the state. I can find you. Right? You gonna stop.
That's right.
Or you gonna deal with me. So we need men. Praise you for us. All through the plantation, those sisters been fighting off fights. You ain't tired of that yet?
Right.
We long removed from that. You ain't tired of that yet? Having a sister fight your fight for you?
Good question.
Teach, brother. Minister.
They messing with your family. She out there talking about, you better leave my family alone. You sitting in the window like, come on, honey, come in the house. That's dangerous out there. What you out there for? Mess with them. He's a man. Don't mess with him. Oh, because it's been like that. They gonna go outside to try to drag her in the house. Not to fight. They gonna drag her in the house. It's been just like that.
That's right.
Right? You don't need that. You need that. She trying to go to the, what you going to the door for? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you better get out the way. And don't get in the window either. You don't need to see none of this.
No.
What I'm about to do right now, you're not going to see me the same. You don't need to look at none of this. Go in the house, get everybody away from the window. You need men. Because if that's what they want, it's not that we want to do it. It's not that we want to do it, but you forcing our hands. You at my door.
That's right.
You messing with my family. Right in the store.
Yes, sir.
You messing with my family. You dealing with men today.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
It was a man child was born.
Yes,
There wasn't no babies born when it came to the Nation of Islam. A man child was born. You dealing with men from birth. Right? No fear in us. If it is, get in the middle of the brothers that don't have fear. I guarantee your fear will slowly fade away when you see what these brothers can do.
Yes, sir.
Right? Why can we do it? Because Allah has our back.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Right? Allah has our back and we're not scared.
Yes, sir.
And we know how to fight.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But we fighting in the right cause.
Yes, sir.
That's why we be successful.
That's right.
So whether it's physically, mentally, or spiritually, no matter what it is, you will be successful.
Yes,
you don't have to worry about being broke.
Right.
The Holy Quran said that if you fear poverty,
Right.
that Allah will remove it from you.
Yes, sir.
So everything that you was looking at and worried about, if you fight for the cause of Islam, Allah will remove it from you.
That's right.
Right? This fear comes from the devil.
Yes, sir.
Right? He taught us how to eat the wrong food.
Right.
Right? Now we think that means that, because we was eating swine and we eating collard greens. That's not just that. He taught us to eat the wrong mental and spiritual foods too.
Right.
Right? Have us believing in Jesus, thinking we're going to go to heaven after we die. All these things are still the wrong food. Right? So now, right? Turn the other cheek. Right? Pray for those who spitefully use you. If they steal one cloak, give them another one. Right? So they gonna steal my coat. Now I'm gonna give you this one too. Wait a minute, I got another one for you. Right? This is what they telling us. Turn the other cheek. Say, oh my God, you hit me. Wait a minute, that's sore. Try this one. Right? No. That's the wrong food. Right? That's why we've been acting the way we've been acting.
Yes, sir.
That's why we're fearful.
Right.
On top of that, we've been eating swine and all other type of garbage.
Right.
Chicken feet and gizzards and all types of swine and from the rooter to the tutor. Right? We eating all of that stuff, right? Liver. Oh, we eating all of that stuff, right?
That's right.
All that stuff, right? We be eating all of that. Right? So now, not only mentally we have fear, physically we moving like this, right?
Yeah.
All slow and droggish.
Right.
So even if we muster up the heart, we only had a physical ability.
Right.
Right? So now the message has been removing all the wrong food from our body and our mind.
Yes, sir.
Right? So now there's really no excuse.
Right.
The only reason that you're scared because you fear the devil. Because you for sure ain't scared of no black folk. We be outside the street. Every black person will fight a black person.
Listen.
Right? But then the devil come in like, I'm sorry. You the man. Right? Well, you do have a few that's scared of everybody. They won't fight nobody. Unless they know they can beat you. Right? Unless they know they can beat you, they'll fight you. I know I can beat them. They right out there. What you want, little man?
Right.
Right? Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me. That's how they out there, right? And as soon as this big brother comes, that's his age, his size. No, man, I'm just saying, though, you know, he was like, you know, I was just telling him to chill because, you know, he was messing with my little cousin and, you know, my little cousin too young and that. We need you to come out there and listen, big man.
Right.
That's right.
It's going to be a David and Goliath out here if you keep it up.
Right.
And I'm David.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's your call.
That's right.
So what we going to do?
Right.
Right? That's what we need now, right? We need that. Because all this fear and stuff is not going to help us personally. It's not going to help the nation.
Right.
It's going to help no one. I'm scared to spend my money. You're only scared to spend your money because you got to spend it with the nation.
Right.
You out there spending your money on everything else.
Right.
Right.
Give me the new car, not that new car, the new car.
Right.
The one that just poured in, on a truck. The one who tires never touch the ground. Give me that one.
Right.
Right?
Don't give the nation nothing.
That I want the new house. No, the new house, the one they still building. How much that one gonna be when it's done?
Right.
Right? Oh, you know what it's gonna look like when it's done. Let me see the blueprint. Let me see what a finished picture is supposed to look like. I want that one.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
Give me the tailored suit. Right? The tailored suit. I don't even want those hats because they off the rack. Give me I want a hat specially made for my head. Take the measurements on my head. I'm going to tell you what I want. You draw it out and I'm going to tell you if it's right. We spend our money like that. It's fair to spend it with the nation.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
You decide to put $1 in the collection plate, you broke. That's fine if you broke.
Right.
But if you broke because everything else can get the money, and you say you want to build something we can call our own, and you can't put 2 pennies in the plate, then it says that you really don't want to fight for the nation.
Right.
Now, nobody's telling you how much to put in or what to put in and all that, but you should be putting something in
Right.
if you want to get something out of it.
Right.
That's right.
Like if the plate is coming around, you say I don't want to put anything in the plate. Well, that money is going to build the nation.
Right.
That's right.
That's where it's going to. It's not going in nobody's pocket.
Right.
It's going to the pocket of the nation. So what I'm saying is, if you want something out of the Nation of Islam, you have to put something in it. Because if you don't put anything in it, you're not going to get anything out of it.
Right.
Now, I don't care how little you put in it.
Right.
You just won't get that much out of it. But put something in it.
Right.
Why? Because you're looking for the nation to do everything for you.
Yes, sir.
Will you even fight for it? Some people have been fighting for this nation, for the Nation of Islam since they came out the womb. Some people have been fighting for it since they walked through the door. Some people were fighting for it, didn't even know they was fighting. They didn't even know that actually was fighting for the nation. Right? They didn't even know. They walked through the door, praise be to Allah. They walked through the door, it was attacked. Right? What would happen is people wanted them to leave. Because they didn't want the nation to grow. Right? So we're going to leave it right here where it's at, where we can overrun everything, and we eventually take this whole temple and get them out of here. Right? So even if they walked through the door and they walked through the door fighting, they was actually fighting for the nation and didn't even know it.
Right.
Because their fight had them to stay.
Right.
And them staying was the nation growing.
Right.
And then them being there, after through all of that, when more people came, then they know that, yo, I can't do it because this person was going to help him and he wasn't scared. Now they were scared.
Right.
Or even if he is scared, they going to fight for him.
Right.
We're not going to just be able to get him up out the door.
Right.
Right? So all of this is still fighting for the nation. So you want your family to have good things and be successful.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes.
So if you want that, you go home with the money. Right? And you put it and you pay all your bills.
That's right.
Right? You make sure that everything's taken care of. Food's in the house. The electric stay on. The gas is on. The stove is usable.
Right.
The shower is usable. Right?
Right.
You make sure all that. You make sure the bedrooms are comfortable. That's because you love your family, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you love the nation, then you come in and you make sure that the water is, make sure that the people are taken care of. You make sure that it's food here. Now, food comes in all shapes, types, and forms. That means you get that wisdom and you bring it back,
That's
right? You got the money, you bring it back.
Right.
You ain't got to give up all your money, but if you want something out of life, it costs something.
That's right.
It costs something. You got to spend somebody money in North America, right? But all this is fighting. You work the job you don't like because you want to make sure your family taken care of,
That's right. That's right.
right?
Yes, sir.
So you go out with certain luxuries because you want to make sure your family is taken care of, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's the same thing with the nation.
That's right.
There's some things you got to sacrifice. Sometimes we be looking at people and be like, man, that's all they did. Maybe that's all they had.
Right.
Right.
And then like now, you got more and you doing less. Or you doing the same amount. You can afford more, they can't. So the sacrifice was with them. Right? That's what the great sacrifice was with. The one who had the least to give and gave.
Right.
That's right.
Right? That's who the sacrifice was with. Some people are like, man, I only got 2 cents. Here go 2 cents.
Right.
Right? Some people are like, look, I got a penny. I got 2 pennies. Here go 1.
Right.
Right? Some people do that. Allah's looking at that.
Yes, sir.
The nation's looking at that.
Yes, sir.
We think that when we say Allah, that has nothing to do with the nation. Like him. Right? So we watching. We building. I'm going to come give you a cheesesteak and you ain't give me no cheesesteak money? And everybody else gave cheesesteak money. Right? Maybe I use something else. It is Ramadan, we all fast. Maybe I try something else, right? Maybe I try something else. All right, maybe use something else, right? Everybody baby getting a toy car. Everybody give money for the babies to get a toy car because we're going to get the toy cars wholesale. It's going to be way cheaper. We're going to pay way less money.
Right.
Now everybody give it in except you. They get a toy car and your baby don't get a toy car. Now you're mad. Why my baby get a toy car? Y'all nation, y'all don't like me.
That's what we do.
Y'all picking on me.
That's what we do.
Because y'all family. All type of excuses. That's the only reason why. That's why y'all doing it. Y'all family. If it wasn't for family, then y'all wouldn't be treating me like this. If I was family, right? All types of excuses and reasons they give, right? But they forget they didn't give them no toy car money.
Right.
So how your child gonna get a toy car? Now, if people feel so kind, this extra toy car, they may give your child a toy car, not make the child suffer because of you, right?
That's right.
That may happen, but it's not mandatory that you get a toy car. We don't want to put no toy car money in.
Right.
We want to put the toy cars came, the toy planes came, everything came, right? And you put nothing in, right? So it's not mandatory that you will get something out.
Right.
And this is what we have to look at. Because every time somebody says, because y'all family, or why treat me like that, I always look like, when I become family? I'm not getting treated like that. So you have to look at things realistically.
Right.
I'm not getting treated like that. Right? So if I'm not getting treated like that, and they screaming it's all because of family, when I become family?
Right.
I didn't come family. I'm not an in-law. I'm not a distant relative. I'm just some guy that walked off the street, came up into the temple, and never left. It had to make you ask them, what are you doing that they treating you like that?
Right.
Because there's other people here that's not family either, and they're not treating them like that.
Right.
See, we have to look at things realistically. That was just an attack on the temple. We have to notice these things.
Exactly. Yes,
And if you look at it realistically, the best person to best look at that in an objective way is somebody who wasn't related.
Right.
Right? Then say, wait a minute, how are they treating me?
Right.
Treat me good.
Right.
Maybe because I was at every temple service.
right.
Maybe because I was empty. Maybe because I was given to the nation.
Good point.
Maybe because I was out there with the papers every day and I wasn't complaining. Well, maybe because I was bringing people out to hear the minister. Maybe why when they said when the floor needed to be swept, I swept.
Right.
Right.
Maybe that's why. Maybe when the bathroom needed to be cleaned, I cleaned it.
Right.
Maybe that's why they wasn't treating me like that.
Right.
And every time something needed to be done, you complain.
Right.
Maybe that's why they was acting like that.
Right.
We have to look at things realistically. When people start doing that, they're attacking the temple. An attack on any temple under the message is an attack on the Nation of Islam. Because we learn the same thing. No temple learned nothing different than the other temple. We all follow Messenger Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
The program is the same no matter where you go. So if you attacking us and saying we doing, I guess the dope people over there with their family over there too doing the same thing, huh? That's what people just do now, huh? That's why fighting is important.
Yes, sir.
When you got to fight in spirit and you see you got sucker punch and you just let it alone.
That's right.
I'm gonna let that one go.
Yep.
He just hurt.
I hate that.
So he just hurt. So I'm gonna eat that one, let him have that one.
Right.
No, you can't let him have that one because
Right.
that's just one attack. Then
Right.
it's gonna be another attack, and then another attack, and then another attack. The attack is so vicious that you could have been stopped, and now somebody seriously hurt when you could have stopped it a long time ago.
Yeah.
In fact, you should have never been sucker punched. You should have been prepared for all of that. Right? So this is what we're doing in the Nation of Islam is we're fighting for a just cause. If you don't think the cause is just, well, that's between you and Allah.
Yes, sir.
But don't come telling us it's not just.
Right.
I know it's a just cause. Don't come whisper my ear saying it's not just. Don't whisper nobody else's ear saying it's not just.
Right.
Fight for Islam. As I say, you will surely win. This is a great song. If you don't have it, one day I hope you have it. But on that, I'm actually over my time. I apologize. We're gonna bring our brother. We're gonna bring our brother minister to take you further until I give a teacher, Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Our brother minister Rahman Ali. As I leave you, as I greet you, Assalamu alaikum.
Name of Allah came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad and raised in our midst a perfect leader, teacher, and guide in the persons of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'd like to greet the believers again in the nation's greeters of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum. Happy Ramadan, first and foremost. Let's give our hard-working brother minister another round of applause. He actually was on a roll and he didn't go over time. And that's something I wanted to point out right quick. That when you and I learned this from Brother Minister, when you got a good roll going on, it might be sometimes to go ahead and let it roll. Because the object is to get Islam into the hearts and the minds of the people. Right. And if that's being done, go ahead and let it coast out. Right. Now, how do we parallel? Mean nothing. Right. Huh? When you good at what you doing, the people going back and say, go ahead and do you. Is that right? So go be good at what you do. Don't go and do the mandatory minimum. We wake up, and I learned this from my brother. I forgot, brother Captain knows the brother. He listens to the motivational speaker, brother. Eric Thompson gave us a good analogy on how when you wake up and you go to work and you hate that job. And because you hate the job, you give only 60% of it. And you wake up every day for 5 to 10 to 15 years giving out 60% of yourself. You cheating yourself. Right. You should, if it's not worth you giving 100% of it, don't do it. Don't do it. So go ahead and get good at it. Is that right? And when things go good and when your life and when you do things there, just let it roll because they see the movement that we going. Is that right? And that's where we going from as far as the movement on Islam and the strength on what we're doing here at the temple and what we're doing in the nation. And we need brothers and sisters who is willing to defend this because we are getting attacked at multi-angles. Yes, sir. Not only in our physical, but in the spiritual, right. The mental, right. Online, right. In our personal lives. Right. We are going through it, brothers and sisters. Yes, and we need each other to be on the same common fighting spirit so that we can win. Is that right? Yes, right. Now, this is important because when, I want to say this from the door, when people ask, the believer, well, what's going on? We need you to come and join on to the temple. We need you to be out. We need you to be full function in your nation. A lot of times we get the responses, well, I got to get myself right. And then, right now, I don't got myself right. And how can I be good of an asset to the nation when I'm not good? That's a wrong thinking, brothers and sisters. Because from the door, you already placed yourself outside of the nation. You are the nation. Yes, right. So if you're weak, the nation is weak. Right. And we'll never get strong as long as you're on the outside trying to get strong. Is that right? You are the nation. So if you are weak, the nation is weak. If you are top, you understand what I'm saying? Don't separate yourself from the nation. You are the nation. How is the nation doing? Number 2, brothers and sisters, we are strong as our weakest link. Is that right? This is our protection. Inside of Muhammad's symbol of Islam, this is a body. Is that right? Don't you know Muhammad's symbol of Islam is almost the same as an individual? Right. You get bad times. Right. Sisters got times, but they just ain't with it. I'm a good mother, you understand? But I just ain't with it today, boy. I just ain't with it today. Daughter just leave me. We be times just that be that way. Right. Right? You have up spirit at times when you're ready to have it. You want to have fun with everybody. Sometimes you're not. And the scriptures say a time for this and a time for that. It's a time for everybody, right? Sometimes we have the blues. This week ain't a good week. Not that you're not a believer. We know tough times is going to come. And just like when you have a bad week, everything you touch turn to dirt. Is that right? I had weeks like this. I had a couple of months like this, brothers and sisters. I never put it out there because we put our best foot forward. And when you sojourn for Islam, what goes on out there is almost minuscule when you got the ability to come and fight. Is that right? So you saw the fight. But in reality, I was having dirt. Everything I touched was turning into dirt. I get in the bed turned into dirt. You understand what I'm saying? But I didn't give up on myself. I said, hold on, keep on praying. What am I doing wrong? Allah, can you hear me? I asked myself, why? Because you never give up on yourself, is that right? Even if you ugly. You ain't ugly. I'm the best. That crooked tooth compliments me. That's my crooked tooth. My nose ain't big, it's just proportion for my kingdomness, is that right? You beat yourself up. You got shortcomings and flaws, but you don't abandon yourself. Is that right? You find something good about yourself and you hang your hat on and say, that's me. That's the God right there. Is that right? Same way with the nation. Don't you know when you come to the temple, it may be a week, it may be a month where everything turns into dirt. Will you abandon us? Things is going good in your life. But as a temple, sometimes at times it's times. Savior's days. When the believers have a Savior's Day here, and we got it clean, we be working, and everybody be in a good spirit because temple services, we preparing for Savior's Day, is that right? That's an up. So for the whole 2 weeks leading to Savior's Day, sometimes the whole 2 months leading to Savior's Day, we in high spirits, is that right? Sometimes on the flip side, we could be for months on low spirits. We could be on independent spirits. The question is, we as believers, what are you going to do when you're not going to do it? Some of the protection that we do for the Nation of Islam, a lot of times ain't even on the outside, it's on the inside. Is that right? Think about the brother, and I ain't gonna say the old back is to the outside. We say, brother, we need you on post. He ain't worrying about what's going on the outside. His back is to the outside. He got us and another orator, another system to design to worry about the outside, but his post is for the inside. Is that right? Right. That's how we got to be as far as defending the nation. Defend the nation from the inside and the outside to take care of itself. What do I mean by that? Look at the immune system. How many of us ever seen the x-ray of the immune system, seen what it looks like? You can't see the immune system, brothers and sisters. The immune system is an internal force that operates inside, internally. This is how we have to be. A lot of times when you hear defending the temple and defending the nation, you think about going to go get your gun or going to go get physical, but we never think about the interior movement, mindset, spirit, and development of the temple. Our maintenance of the temple is our greatest defense. How can you say you care about the believers? How you say you're protecting about the believers and you don't understand how believers work? You need to understand that we got to have good times. We got bad times. But what are you going to do about it? When your brother or your sister is crying his hearts out, will you just get up, shut up, and stand there on post? Or will you be a protector to him and to the environment in which we are living in, brothers and sisters? We got to begin to look at defense on not just a physical side, but on a spiritual side. Is that right? That's right. So what about on general orders, brothers and sisters? When we said we train it, how many of us remember general order number 9? General order number 9 says no one allowed no one to cause a nuisance on or near our post. Is that right? That's right. Now, how many of us realize you on the post? That's you that's on the post. The only thing that someone can do is cause a nuisance. How many of us believe that? Nobody can't disrupt the will of Allah. The will of Allah is so powerful because it's backed by the all-wise, knowing, and the supreme being. Is that right? The only thing you can do is be a nuisance and stopping the will of Allah. Because the presence of Allah is so strong and it's eternal. Even if you are the best and your children won't be strong enough to battle what's coming behind you and whatever else that you call adversity to Islam. Is that right? Right. So the most that anybody can do to Islam is cause a nuisance. Why is this important? You need to realize that in your own life. Right. Can't nobody take you off your path. Yes, right. You see somebody say, well, why you ain't doing this and why you ain't doing that? It's because brother said, it's because the devil said, later for that. The only thing someone can do is cause a nuisance. They can't stop you. They can't hold your progress. They can't even kill you. Is that right? We can even go so far with it and say they can't even kill you because you can't get killed unless it's by Allah. It's an internal force that we got to worry about. And as Brother Minister said, with the brick and the sheetrock, that was a very beautiful analogy, brothers and sisters. Because when we think of unity, we think that everybody got to be the same, some type of cookie cutter effect. All of us got to be in our prospective orbits, and these orbits is functioning in a fully compatible manner, whereas they're producing peace. Is that right? So when we say defend the nation, we don't want you to get aggressive, to get argumentative, and get quarrel. Is that right? One of the best ways to defend the nation is to restore peace. One of the best ways to defend the nation is for stabilization, again, which builds peace. Us protecting the temple and making sure that a peaceful environment is 1,000% in being defensive. Now, we can't use carnal weapons to defend Islam. How many of us believe that?
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that you shouldn't even carry as much as a penknife. How many of us believe that?
Yes, sir.
So how should we fight? The way the brother minister before me had put it, you can't put it no clearer. So the best way that we can say that you have to use is Islam. Is that right?
Right.
Islam is the only way that you could become to begin to defend, Islam is the only tool that you can use to defend Islam. And defending Islam most of the time is not by your words.
That's right.
Defending Islam is your lifestyle.
That's right.
Defending Islam is everybody looking at you from the years, not a couple of months.
Right.
Because people look at you for a couple of months and see, we all know we catch fags.
Right.
Is that right? I bought this leather jacket and it cost me a grip. I'm going to at least get my wares out of it before I throw it away. But I know I'm not going to be wearing it next summer. How many of us know that? These children today waste their money, and as adults and parents, try to get that out of our children. Stop buying for seasons.
Right.
Every season you got to go buy clothes. That's foolishness.
Right.
You ain't growing every season.
Right.
But what that's doing is having you with a temporary basis mindset.
Right.
Everything in your life is temporary. I see these brothers, I saw the brother buy a shirt. He working in it 2 weeks. Nothing is permanent in our lives, brothers and sisters. Begin to fight and to hold on to things. And as Brother Minister said, the longer you hold it and the more you use it, you'll realize you got to fight to continue to use it. It's nothing that you can use willy-nilly and don't have to fight or protect it to use it.
Right.
So we got to get on and take it for serious and keep it things for permanency. Is that right? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the best way that you could defend Islam is be your natural self.
That's right.
How many of us know? I was reading, and the best example for that is the power of medicinal foods. On Facebook, it was a sister. She had, now she's a Muslim, and she put, "This is my holy trinity." Right? And I thought that was weird because she's a Muslim, but how her holy trinity was? Chopped up onions, chopped up garlics, and chopped up peppers. I think it was peppers. Now, I'm bringing this up to say that the principle behind this is if you eat naturally, your food will become your medicine.
Right.
So a natural diet not only does it give you nourishment, but it will protect you at the same time. So Islam, if you use Islam as your actual everyday life, it'll bring you success. But it'll also be your protection. Do it things twice and multifaceted. Don't just do one thing for one particular reason. If you do it, make sure it affects the plethora of your entire life, brothers and sisters. On a side note, how many of us know that garlic and onion is the only thing, the messenger said twice, that you can eat as much as you want of? The messenger said, and I know this because when I first got this teaching and I became a vegetarian, I used to go hard on everybody. You should be a vegetarian. Vegetarian is the best way of life. You got to do this, you got to do that. But you know what stopped when I began to read? The messenger said it in both books. He said, this book is not designed to tell you what to eat, but to tell you when to eat. So that let me know, okay, what you eat ain't important as much as when you eat it, which is as much as you want of, and that's garlics and onions. That's something that we got to think about. So I wanted to just throw that in there right quick. Put as much garlic and onion as you can in your food this Ramadan. It don't matter. Your breath stink anyway. Is that right? woman was in my face this week. And I know she smelled this Ramadan breath. But I'm going to give it to her, though, because I got to do business. Is that right? But, now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that if you use Islam, it will not only give you success, but it will protect you, brothers and sisters. If you want protection in your life, be the best at what it is that you're supposed to do. That started from children. If you are a child, you fight against bullies. You fight against peer pressure. You fight against the rules and the things that you want to do versus what your parents want to do. If you are the best child you could be, it'll bring the best out of the parent. Is that right? The parent may not be the best. My mother wasn't the best. But a good child will bring the best out of your mom. Is that right? It'll bring the best out of them. So when you are the best, it'll bring the best out of the parent. Now you got support. Now that you are good and you got goodness, now you got support from your parent. Is that right? Now as you up in life now, you got the support from your parent. You've been doing good your whole life. You are a good person. Is that right? We don't really believe in boyfriends and girlfriends, but we'll go from now you got a person that's about to be your spouse, right? Now you get with a brother or you get with a sister who are now conducive to bringing success and bringing Islam into your life. Is that right? Now you got someone that's with you. When it was just you was just you and your parent. But now you're a grown up and now you got a spouse. Is that right? Don't you know you being the best spouse will be a protection for you? If you are a husband, being a husband will protect your life. Because being a good husband won't be around with them loose women. He goes home at night. He considers where he spends his money. He thinks about his children. He's raising his children. This is a protection for you. When you are being who you're supposed to be at the best, it provides protection for you. This provides a defense for you. Is that right? One sad mistake is we get an ego, we get a few lessons, we get our chest poked out, but we don't want to be the best of who we could be. That fight of fighting to be the best. Now you don't want to be the best, the greatest of all time. You ain't gonna get knocked out and be undefeated. Is that right? You gonna, in fact, that's when you learn most of your lessons. I won't do that again. You heard what Brother Minister said. I want to make sure I won't go that happen again. What is the brother that can fight? Is that right? We learn and get knocked down. We learn from our failures. But your failures come from fighting. And you got to fight. And I learned this from Brother Akbar when he was the captain at the responsibility.
Yes, sir.
Responsibility is your protection. If you run to that responsibility, the responsibility will make sure you got what you need every time. But when you duck, nobody's on the side of a man who ducks. Is that right? So one of the best ways is to come into the Muhammad symbol of Islam and be the best you can be. Right. If you a smoker, be the best example of a person getting off of smoking. Is that right? We come into Islam and we got a false sense of reality. Everybody got their own picture in here and they're all unique. You ever seen that insurance commercial that says we know about a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two? That's how the believers is. It ain't just the messenger and Farah, the Allah up there. Oh, seen a thing or two. Is that right? So if you were a brother who likes to steal and can't stop smoking and stop drinking and stop putting your hands on folks, be the best one who's stopping to fight all of that to be the best Muslim. There's no reason for you not to come and join on into this fight. You are the nation. And it's also for us to let it be known that you won't change out there. It's impossible. If it was possible, we wouldn't need Muhammad's symbols. Is that right? I like to... Now, as the temple goes through one another, how many of us want to be there for one another? Now, I don't mean being Dr. Phil because that's a problem too. Let me stop there before I go any further. We got parameters and protocol here at the temple. We don't need you off the cuff pulling people to the side, being Dr. Phil and counseling nobody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying take people off to the side and get all in their lives. What I'm saying is care. And when you see something out of order, report it and set the mechanism up out of brotherly love and sisterly love to produce a result where a brother or sister can get help. Right? Because I learned that. You can't get around. We got parameters here. And you can get, if you get out of or you can cause more harm than what you think that you are doing. Because we got a system here. That's almost important too. Know that when you come in, it is a system that is done here. even if, and let this be known, and I'm learning this now, especially coming into the temple, and we're talking to educated believers.
Right.
Some of y'all are so advanced that y'all do things and don't realize you're doing it. There's laws that are being executed and passed that you may have been doing it so much, you don't even know why you do it. Right? So, why is that important? So, as new people come in, understand that you don't understand everything.
Right.
You only understand what was brought up.
Right.
But it was things going on for so long. Law is in place.
Right.
So you come in there with your idea and don't know a law exists that is even being broken. So what's being noticed is fall back. And that the scripture said that we read on in the Holy Quran on Wednesday, take a moment of silence for a second. Have sound mind for a second and listen and think about what's going on so that we can be a better protection for one another. Because when you don't listen and just go off emotion, you can cause a bigger harm to that which you was trying to give safety to. So, what are some of the things that build us up and make us strong? What attendance is. Attendance should be one of the foremost ways that you defend the nation of Islam. If there's a Muhammad symbol of Islam, brothers and sisters, don't you know? I read a documentary, right? And this was a Negro who didn't join the nation of Islam. He joined on later. Don't you know? He said that the whole neighborhood knew the temple meetings before they even put it up on the door. Because they know from watching the temple to know when things was coming.
Right.
They saw the soldiers come right up there, open up doors, get heat things, set it up for the believers to come. They saw brothers standing out there. They saw everybody if an event was coming. Some like a crew came out there and cleaned the front. So front was getting clean, inside maintenance was getting done. Your attendance is being noticed by the outside world, and they're watching you. Yeah, the doors may open up at 2, but how was they getting in the doors? Think about this. Your enemy, when you fighting a fighter, right?
Right.
And you know he got a sharp jab, is that right? You stay away from the jab. But you know his hook is weak. So you stay on that side where he weak at, is that right?
Right.
So when you got an enemy, he's not just watching you, he's watching for your weaknesses. And your attendance can be weakness. Why? Because your attendance and how you form and how you move is a representation of our characters, brothers and sisters. If you can't form with men, I need the sisters, and we can't or can form, it says a lot about us.
That's right.
We need to be in attendance and on square and on point. So those on the outside looking at know that they're dealing with a force and not just people who like to talk this. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, another thing that helps it. Thank you, brother. What helps and defends the nation of Islam is a cleansing.
Yes, sir.
We may think that we don't need a cleansing, but we do.
Yes, sir.
This is why we are supposed to fight. Oh, that might be spelled a little. But cleansing is what maybe I need to cleanse my vocabulary. How is it? Cleansing, so I'm going to put ing, right? Cleansing is what we need. Don't you know the messenger said every 3 days out of every month you should fast?
That's right.
Because even if you got 100% purity coming in your body, you don't eat nothing but broccolis and garlic and onions, is that right? You eat water, is that right? You eat the best of the best. Don't you know that because it grew up out of the earth, that there was insects, there was dirt, there was life in that, and it has the ability to have microscopic poisons inside of you. At the minimum, at the end of the month, you have made a little bit of food that can get you sick for a few days or a day or two. So the messenger said to fully cleanse that out of you, fast for 3 days out of every month. Now let's take that same principle on outside in the world. There is no 100% righteousness out there. On the radio it's filth, on the TV it's filth, on Pandora it's filth. Everywhere you look it's filth, is that right? Now, you walking around with this. Let us understand this too. When we dealing with one another, we're dealing with the weight of one another. Don't you know we holding one another? Don't think that hearing bad news from this believer and good news or bad news and bad news, that this don't weigh on a believer. Don't you know that we are struggling together? But the weight of us struggling sometimes is too much sometimes. It's too much for you sometimes. If you know your problems is enough. But if you care about the believer,
Yes, sir.
sometimes you can get overwhelmed.
Yes, sir.
So we need a cleansing.
Yes, sir.
Not that it makes you a bad person. Not saying that you don't care, but we living for real. Is that right?
Right.
So stay. And how do you cleanse something? You cleanse it with the power of motion of water. How many of us know that stagnant water causes death? Is that right? But the faster the water moves, the faster the cleansing property of that water. Is that right? I learned a interesting, it's a show called This Is How This Works. If you're bored and if it's on, you should watch it, brothers and sisters. I was watching them talking about these today are top loaders versus medium loaders. And the reason why they changed it is because when you put the clothes in a washing machine, in the top, right? Remember back in the day, you put the clothes in there and the clothes spin this way, right? It got them minimally clean because the centrifugal force only had the water moving this way. But the clothes need to come up out of the water for some period of time to let the dirt and the sediment go down. I don't know if that made sense. But so the power of going up and down this motion is a greater force in cleansing because the clothes can come up out of the water, the dirt goes to the bottom, and in that principle, you'll understand how important it is of the flow of water in cleansing your life. Islam is the water in which we use to cleanse our life. Will you do it the weak way? Will you just spin it? You know it. You can use no more water and use a mop stick and cleanse it and barely get your clothes clean. You can do a prison style and have a mop bucket of cleansing it in the toilet. How do you want to use the Islam? How do you want to cleanse yourself? How do you refresh yourself? Why is this important again? Cleansing. You aren't here just to look good. This is not an ornamental religion, whereas though we just got fashion show people going on. As it is for you to wake up into the temple, it's somebody coming in with the same exact fight. So you got to get active enough to give words of wisdom and encouragement to those coming behind you. So we got to fight the fight, brothers and sisters, to maintain this type of Islam in which we are teaching. So the question is, how many of us want to fight?
Yes, sir.
In the Messenger's teachings, how many of us know in a Muhammad speaks when they got the brothers shaking hands across the globe? That's a representation of Jacob's ladder. And on Jacob's ladder, it said that I seen angels ascending and descending, coming in and out of heaven. Is that right? That's right. The messenger said this is you and I. Some of us will be at the top of the ladder in heaven. Some of us will be on our way up. Some of us will be on our way down. Is that right? How many of us believe that? Yes, this isn't a religion where everybody's at the top and only the sinners is at the bottom. You might have been at the top today, but you might be on your way tomorrow. Is that right? You might have been on the bottom tomorrow, but you might be on your way to top today. Is that right? This is a motive. This is a religion where we're continuously going up and down. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, don't you know the temple is made up of individuals? So if we're going up and down, don't you know the temple must be going up and down? Is that right? The temple goes through its mood swings. Are we all aware of that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, when you're aware of it, if you want to defend the house, we must be in a certain orbit or mindset so that we come. Is that right? Take, for example, if we are at a down period at the temple, if you don't realize I've been in the temple for maybe, Kishwa 15 this week. So I was in the temple for 20 years, brothers and sisters. And from being in the temple for 20 years, you know what I realized? Besides that, as we enter, and Brother Minister told on this, so you know it too. As we enter into the winter months, so does the activity and enthusiasm out of some of the believers go with it. Is that true? When we enter into the summer months, everybody, same thing. It's nice outside. People want to got other barbecues to go to. When you understand this, you may understand why our activities around the temple are important and need the support.
That's right.
Those activities may be compensating for a swing in the movement of the temple. And that these things will bring up the spirit. But if you don't uphold and you don't take part or you don't attend, it doesn't do anything. In fact, it may be worse for the people who are trying to do something. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Excuse me, teaching without no water is pretty hard. You have to be mindful of the temple. Again, I'm not saying being Dr. Phil or being Oprah and being everybody's business. That is, we must be attentive when we come to the temple. Is that right? Shouldn't we be mindful and noticeable? Because this is the best defense. The best defense is knowing your brother and your sister. Again, let me ask a series of questions, and then yes, sir, will basically suffice or not. Are you your brother's keeper?
Yes, sir.
Are you as strong as the weakest link?
Yes, sir.
Are we all we got?
Yes, sir.
Is the greatest resource that you have is the brother and the sister standing next to you?
Yes, sir.
All of it, is this all contingent on our obedience and our love to Allah?
Yes, sir.
Don't you know that this is our defense?
Yes, sir.
If you live your life with those things, this will be the greatest defense for us, brothers and sisters. Forget about how much you know, how many prayers you can quote. If you know, we all we got. Which means that even if I hate your guts right now, we all we got. What does it mean? I mean that we in a nation where we don't like each other. And that's the reality. We come from households where we all don't like each other. Don't think you're going to come to the temple and come in an environment where we all like each other. We got to get over that. Is that right? Because a goal has to be made. A goal has to be made to the point of put away our small differences and build for the nation. Is that right? This is where the fighting comes in at. Okay. What about inside of Muhammad's temple of Islam? When I say the temple, I'm also saying the nation as well. Because this is just where it starts at. Is that right? We're starting with a temple. But we're ending with a nation, is that right? All the way into the fall of the destruction of this country, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, when we come in here, our defense is our love and our obedience to Master Farrar Muhammad. Is that right?
That's right.
The same way as that water flowing through that washing machine, this is what's going to keep us safe. Not me liking you, not me feeling you, not me liking your haircut. The law of Master Farrar Muhammad and the flow of the will of Islam, mind, heart, and the body of the believer, this will be our safety net. How many of us is willing to go for that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How many of us is willing to go for that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In order for us to go for that, we got to continue what we're doing and step it up. Now, when I say step it up, I'm not saying it like we're doing something wrong. But we want to go to another level, is that right? Don't we see Brother Minister going to another level? Don't we see Brother Minister? How many of us realize that this topic, Brother Minister is here even though he's not here? Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
How many of us know if we don't step it up, this will be one of the biggest things that make us fall? Is that right? How many of us know that when the angels was given three things, one of the angels buried their talent, one of the angels spent their talent, one of the angels squandered their talent? If you don't multiply it at the end of that story, if you don't turn 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, you will get chastised.
Right.
So when I say we need to step it up, I'm just trying to multiply, not fall fine or say we need to do something better. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we got to really care for one another. To the point where as though when that time come of our low periods, that we don't implode on one another. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And I thought that was important for us to mention because this will be one of the things that is used against us. It's not in and cause us fighting against one another.
Right.
And because we're followers of the messenger, let us think about not vulnerability because we've served Master Farrar Muhammad. But I want you to understand our condition. If all of our allegiance go to Master Farrar Muhammad, that means that we go away from leaning on. We take a lot of we take our hands up from the assistance from each other, from certain people. How many of us know what 5013C is?
Yes, sir.
I never went downtown. I never saw no law book, none of that. You know how I learned 5013C? Because when Brother Minister teaches on the rostrum, he says that's something we would never take.
Right.
What I do know about it is it's a handout from the government, right?
Yes,
now, what that means is it has to be in the line of his program, and then the will of Allah. Is that right? Now, that means you got to fight.
Yes, sir.
That means you got to be hungry. And a white man coming to you and say, I got food for you. All you got to do is renounce this.
Right.
Change it up a little bit. Take a little bit of militancy out of it. Make it more religious. Put it in your own words a little bit. I don't care. Just change it. And here goes some food. You got to be willing enough to fight and defend the nation enough to don't sell out. Is that right?
Right.
Why is that important? Because as we go for our independence, we're all we got. We don't got the luxury of leaning on the government and leaning on these devils for help. Each other. Is that important?
Yes, sir.
Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, when it comes to the understanding of one another, don't you know that that's one of our greatest protections? If you don't understand one another, you'll destroy one another. You heard Brother Minister teach, if you got a misunderstanding of the true letter of the law, and you got a pistol with a hard heart, everybody that broke that law getting shot around the back of the temple, is that right? You'll kill it. And none of us are walking around here holy, is that right? So you have to have understanding and compassion enough. And that's a fight, because you can't compromise the rules.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to be understanding. Is that right?
That's right?
So understanding to your brother and understanding that he may not like what you like and understand what you understand, but we got to not let that cause a difference between us. Is that right?
That's right.
This is what Ramadan, another thing in Ramadan that I wanted to take my last few minutes on and speak about. I pray that all of the believers' Ramadan is going good, and I hope that we can keep an upbeat spirit about Ramadan. When I asked the believers how Ramadan was going, and when Brother Minister was speaking about Ramadan, the believers was pretty happy. And that's good. Because when you see the Orthodox world, they're not happy when Ramadan comes. Is that right?
That's right.
It's a fine. And that's not how we should be.
Right.
We should be happy.
Exactly.
It ain't that many times where we really come together and really not really celebrate, but we got savers in Ramadan. Is that right? We don't got a lot of, so we should make the best out of this. Don't make it, but be competitive enough to make sure that we get all our 30 days in. Is that right?
Yes.
How many of us are waking up in the morning and reading our Quran verses? All praise is due to Allah. How many of us is waking up and getting that meal in before the morning come in? Praises be to Allah. That's growth. You may see that as something small, but it was a point in time where people was getting up and eating. And they had no problem saying, I'm eating. But now we're getting stronger. That's strength. Because you're saying you're doing without something that you used to get up to go do. Y'all remember that about 2 years ago, Sister Catherine was talking about that? She was saying that if you gotta eat, go ahead and eat, but your aim should be not to eat. She was saying start with something small, like fruit, and so yourself off of that meal, and if you just get up and drink a sip of coffee or some juice or something like that. Y'all remember that?
Yes, sir.
Now nobody's getting up and eating breakfast. See how we're growing? This is important for us to understand, because if we don't forget that, all you see is the worst.
Right.
We ain't doing nothing right.
Right.
Nah, we growing. But we don't understand it because sometimes we don't rightly pay attention.
Right.
We play to the wrong thing sometimes.
That's right.
I'm guilty of it. We all guilty of it. But we all got to keep each other in check and make sure the spiritual side and the blessing side of us growing is there. Is that right? That's what makes me come here. I've been here for 20 years. I want y'all to think I've been coming here just because I could teach. I wasn't coming here teaching, right? I'm coming here because I see the greatness in us. When you see the worst, the problems, the deep setting that Brother Minister had pointed out, the less slight of provocation could bring the self-hate in the Negro. But you got to bring back and say, hold up, it's blessings here.
That's right.
Same way with your family.
That's right.
Same way as Brother Minister was teaching beautifully. Brother Minister, let's give another round for Brother Minister Jamar. Last 2 weeks he been on fire, is that right? Last week he was saying, you put up with the hell at work and come home because you know you got heaven at home. Is that right?
Yes,
You got it here too. You got to put up with the hell. It's because you know you got heaven right here at the temple. Is that right? How many of us know what this heaven looks like? It ain't all just because we all got on suits, as Brother Minister Jamar said. It ain't all because we matching, is that right? It ain't all because we all vegetarians, is that right? Because we ain't none of us none of all of that, is that right? We are all individuals, and the only common denominator that we got is loving Master Farrar Muhammad, and we develop the love for one another from that, is that right? And this is the protection that we got to have. Have an unwhelming desire and love for Master Farrar Muhammad. In the scripture on Wednesday it said, don't make the friends of Allah, the apostles, make them friends besides of Allah. Why is that important? Allah, Master Farrar Muhammad, is the end all, the be all. Is that right? And he contingent upon doing exactly what he said. And if we see someone creeping amongst us saying we can do other than what he said, we know that that's an attack and that's a defense that we got to raise up on. Is that right?
That's right.
How many of us realize that hypocrites come in, as Brother Minister teach, from below with subtle suggestions?
Yes, sir.
So you got to be wise enough as a believer to be, as the Holy Quran say, Allah is aware of all subtleties.
Yes,
Right, that's right.
Now, I'm not saying take a marriage into your own hand, but you got to report it to the brother captain what you see. Is that right? The point of what I'm trying to say is come to the temple and just don't come in attendance.
Right.
Come and be in the temple. Walk around. Talk to some of the believers. See what's going on. And so that we can help the defense that we have to Islam and the Nation of Islam in general itself. Is that right? So with that being said, I'd like to end the lecture. And do we get do charity portion and ask is there any announcements coming from the secretarial staff?
This Saturday coming up is our event, the Basket Extravaganza. So after service, we're gonna stay after about 20 minutes for anybody who wants to purchase any baskets or need help wrapping anything. We're also collecting van money for this month of December, and that's it. Something like that.